Hi, welcome to the series of ASPICE sessions. I'm Tota Krishna Hema, your ASPICE expert. Today we will like to discuss about SUP 9 Problem Resolution Management process area. Let us get into the details of this process area. The purpose of problem resolution management process is to ensure that problems are identified, analyzed, managed and controlled to resolution. So it talks about the complete problem management, problem resolution management of the entire project. So it deals with how we are identifying, how we are analyzing the entire tracking system of the problem, including the solution and all. So process outcomes are a problem resolution management strategy is developed. So there should be a problem resolution management strategy defined, or issue resolution strategy to be defined somewhere in the somewhere as a part of your project plan, and problems are recorded, uniquely identified and classified. This means we have to provide a provision for recording the problems, and unique identification means you have to give a problem with the unique identification number and the segregation. So whether the problem is major, critical or severe, or trivial, or these kind of classifications or bucketization we need to do. And problems are analyzed and addressed or assessed to identify an appropriate solution. So each and every problem to be analyzed in depth, and we need to get an assessment and to identify the proper solution for that particular problem. So problem resolution is initiated. So once we identify the problem solution to the problem, then we have to get it implemented. So the problem resolution is initiated. Then problems are tracked to closure. So once the closure or the resolution part is initiated, then we have to track it to the closure. So when exactly we started implementing the resolution identified, till that moment to the closure part, and status of problems and their trend are known. So once we start tracking different problems in one tracker, then you will get a trend of it. Like if you have 10 issues or 10 problems in a tracker, then each and every issue or the problem will have their own assessment, their own identification dates, their own closure dates. So based on that you will get the trends out of it. So based on how many issues identified till that moment, and how many issues are closed by that moment, and this is how you will get a trend out of the issues. So you have this base practice 1 talks about develop a problem resolution management strategy. That means a plan to be developed, to be documented. So how you are gonna address or identify the complete problem management. You have to write it down as a part of your problem resolution management as a separate document, or even the project management or the project specification document will have this section in it. So with the appropriate comments required for that section. So develop a problem resolution management strategy, including problem resolution activities, a status model of the problems, alert notifications, responsibilities for performing their activities, and an urgent resolution strategy. Interfaces to affected parties and are identified and defined are maintained. Problem resolution activities can be different during the product life cycle, example during prototype construction and series development. So this problem identification and the problem resolution activities, the complete activities will be defined here as a part of the strategy as a base practice 1. practice 2 talks about identify and record the problem. So it talks about the description of the problem, and each problem is uniquely identified. That means you have to get a unique identification number for your problem, and you have to record it in as a part of your tracker or the list or issue list or so whatever the document it is. So supporting information should be provided to reproduce and diagnose the problem. So if you have, so how did you identify this particular issue or this particular problem in your project is whether if you have any supporting documents or any diagnostics like logs and all. So if you have any, you can embed that particular problem evidence to be tracked along with the to be embedded along with in your problem tracker. So in this in this base practice, it talks completely about the identification or the documentation of the identified problem with the unique identification number. Okay, and your base practice 3 talks about record status of the problem. So whether it is open status or in progress status, or how it is, or whether it is closed, so or it is under review. So a status according to the status model is assigned to each problem to facilitate tracking. And your base practice 4 talks about diagnose the cause and determine the impact of the problem. Investigate the problem and determine its cause and impact in order to categorize the problem and to determine appropriate actions. So this talks about see, if you have multiple problems identified, and you need to, first thing is you need to bucketize it. So whether you have to put it in terms of minor, major, critical, or so, or which comes into the category of it is this problem is recognized as a part of the requirement, this problem is recognized as a part of the project management, this problem is recognized as a part of quality assurance. So this we have to bucketize, and then so we need to analyze the density of the problems in particular bucket. So and then we need to find out why there is a larger problems which we get in that particular area. That's how we will do the root cause analysis, and we will find out the impact of the problem. And this is how this is one sort. And or if you have less number of issues identified or the problems identified, if you have enough time to concentrate on each and every issue or the problem identified, then we need to determine the root cause for each and every problem, and we need to find out the impact of the problem also. So the when you do at the end of the project, so after completion, so you are busy with the project, and if you have identified multiple problems, so at once you wanted to solve everything or to track everything, that's when this bucketizing and all will help you out. But ideally we have to track the issue, we have to identify the problem as in the correct phase, and we need to identify, we need to analyze it, and we need to determine the root cause, and we need to find out the impact of the problem. So on issue basis, so the frequency of the issue tracking mechanism to be defined, so in order to maintain it one by one, or in a week or so, like you can be able to identify 4 problems or 5 problems. So that's when it will be easy for you to determine even one problem also. Sometimes it occurs, sometimes it is there won't be any problem in that particular week. So you will get less number of problems if the frequency is more often. So that's when you will be able to find out the root cause, and find out the impact of the problem. So that is the best practice in general. Like, you need to identify the frequency, and then based on the frequency, if the frequency is more often, then it would be more feasible for you to diagnose the problem. BP5, or the base practice 5, talks about authorize urgent resolution action. So some of the problems which you have identified in the problem resolution tracker, so may need an urgent attention. So if you don't address that problem, so it may lead to your reputation damage, or it may lead to some other issues in the in the project. So it may lead to your budget constraints, it may lead to your engineering issues in the upcoming phases. So now if it is a problem, and if it is after some time, so it may become a blocking issue and all. So that's when you need to categorize all the urgent resolution required problems, and you need to solve all those urgent resolution categorized problems in a need basis. You need to define a strategy. So strategy to address all the urgent resolution thing, and you need to authorize for each and every issue. You need to record like who is the identifier of that particular problem, and also who is responsible for the resolution of it as well. So BP6, your base practice 6, talks about raise alert notifications. If according to the strategy the problem has high impact or other systems or other affected parties, an alert notification needs to be raised according to the strategy. See, in Jira or any other defect management, any other tracking tool or the defect management tool like Bugzilla and all, so whenever an issue is raised, so you can the admin can put a notification alert for all the issues raised, or for the changes made to your assigned ticket, or he may filterize further notifications if it is urgent attention needed problems. So the admin will create an alert notification for all the people who are involved in that particular project. So this all alert notifications to be created as part of your configuration management tool, or for the problem resolution tracker or your problem resolution. See, what if you are maintaining your problems in an Excel sheet? So whenever you have identified an urgent or the severe more severe problem, that's when you need to circulate you need to send an email to all your team members saying this is identified and we need to fix it as early as possible, kind of notification or the email you need to send across your team, so which will bring in attention to all the team. Your BP7 talks about base practice 7 talks about initiate problem resolution. So once we have identified a problem, we have categorized a problem based on the severity or which needs urgent attention, and we have identified it with an unique identification number. Now you have to initiate the problem resolution. So we have to initiate appropriate actions. So you need to identify the step-by-step actions which are required to resolve that particular problem. Sometimes after identification of the problem, you will get to know when you do the impact analysis, that's when you will get to know that's not a part of your requirement. So that's when you need to initiate a change request to address which is not in the scope of the project. So your BPA talks about track problems to closure. Track the status of the problems to closure, including all related change requests. A formal acceptance has to be authorized before closing the problem. See, as an outcome of the problem, if you raise a change request, so you need to keep the problem as an in progress or in progress status, and once this particular change request has been closed by the then you need to you need to review that, and you need to review the formal acceptance or the authorization of that particular change request, and you need to close that based on the change request closure. And once this is done, then you need to get a formal authorization to be formal acceptance has to be authorized before closing the problem. So if it is a critical thing, if it is a critical problem, so which involves a change request, so which involves a major change, so then you need to get a formal authorization, so that categorization to be there in the problem resolution tracker. So your BP9 talks about analyze problem trends, collect and analyze problem resolution management data, identify trends and initiate problem related actions according to the strategy. So once a problem is occurred, so in which category it falls under, so how many, the majority of the problems falls into which category. So your histogram will helps out if that is the case, and you will get the trends of the issues which are identified based on the monthly basis or the weekly basis, or you will get the resolution, so how many are open, how many are closed in that particular month, or so this kind of trends you will get as an outcome of the problem resolution management. So coming to the output work products, so problem management plan. So this, as discussed before, this thing is a separate document, or it may be a part of your project specification or the project management plan document. And so this is a section inside the your project specification. Then your problem record, or your is your problem tracker, or the problem list, or the issue list, or whatever it is you call it inside your organization, and the analysis report. So the same, everything will carry out in the same Excel, if you are maintaining it as an Excel, or if you are maintaining it as a tool in tool, all the problems are tracking in the tool, then you will get the analysis report out from the tool. So you will get the tool dump and you need to analyze it separately. Or sometimes in some of the tools, like you will have a gadget, so the tool itself will analyze and give you some dashboards as an outcome of it, and the evaluation report. So once you have identified the problem and you need to get, when you evaluate the problem, then you will get an outcome as an evaluation report and the problem status report. So this problem status report also will have a set of dashboards or your trends, so which will be presented to your top management or your program manager as a part of your weekly reviews or the governance calls which we have with other stakeholders. So I think I have finished this topic. So I came to the end of this topic. So if you like this concept, please press on the like button. If you want for the more automotive concepts, then subscribe to my channel. Thank you.